Hey guys, it's Jessica, and today I am in Paris, and I'm so bad at saying my French R's, it's ridiculous. Tyler makes fun of me all the time because he can actually speak it pretty well, and I don't know as much as I wish that I did. Anyway, so I am here to bring you my June favorites, and it's a little bit early, but I don't care. I was just excited to share some of the things that I've been loving this month. I'm on my honeymoon right now, if you didn't know. We just got married last weekend back home where we live in Indiana. And of course we are on our honeymoon, and this is like the first, our honeymoon's 3 weeks, which is such a blessing. And the first leg of our honeymoon is here in Paris. And so Tyler and I are filming a bunch of vlogs, and on his channel, since his is more travel and vlog oriented, we're putting all of them on there. So if you want to see kind of what we're up to and what our experience has been like so far in a foreign country, which has been quite interesting and quite a learning experience, I'll link his channel below if you wanted to check it out. But let's go ahead and get into my favorites. So my first favorite is an app, and the app is called Snupps. And I had first heard of it a while ago. A friend of mine who's got like a really big, she's really into fashion. She had mentioned it, that she puts all of her stuff on there, like the clothes she has. And I was like, what is it? Because it didn't really make sense to me. She said, you just like upload everything in your collection, whether it be like all your purses or all your shoes, or in my case, all your makeup, and you can organize them into shelves. So like I've got all of my makeup here, well, not all of it. I've started my palette collection. So like I've got Naked 1 and Naked 2. So I took a picture of my Naked palette and I added it to my eyeshadow palettes shelf on this app. So basically the idea is that you can put everything you own in here, so you can share it with people. It's kind of like social media in that way. So like I can share with my friends or with you guys on the app everything I own, so you can kind of see and get an idea. And I even saw, I was looking because I follow a few people on here, and this one girl even puts like, she had a new shelf called Empty Repurchases. So it was cool for me to look, and it's kind of like an Empties video, but she just does it on here where she shows these are products that I am done with that I'm rebuying because they were so good. So I can kind of click through and see what she's really liking and get an idea of, okay, those were good enough that she wanted to rebuy them, so it makes me want to go out and buy them. So I thought that was a really cool idea. Snupps actually reached out to me to see if I wanted to use the app, and I laughed because I was like, I already used the app, sure. Because I love it. So I'm excited to get back home to, well, I'm not in that much of a rush to get back home, but I'm excited to get back home and kind of put more of my collection on here, because like I said, I'd only done my eyeshadow palettes to kind of get a feel for it back a while ago. Anyway, but it's really cool. So follow me on there, and I will probably follow you back, because I'm only following a few people, so I'm trying to get more beauty people on here. Anyway, so yes, I will link that below, and my username on here is GMBeauty89, so I'm pretty easy to find on there, and I'm gonna try and update that when I get back. Okay, so into my beauty faves. One of mine is a Garnier Fructis product. This is the Texture Tease Dry Touch Finishing Spray. I had used this before, and I don't know if I ever mentioned it in a favorites video, but it is really, really, really good. Basically, the way I use it, I even used it on my wedding day, is I spray it all throughout my hair and kind of let it set into my hair, and I usually use this on day 2 hair. But really it works on day 1. My hair really is pretty fine, and it's really hard to do updos with or messy buns with, because it just like sits kind of like limp. But this helps it like actually have grit to it, so it'll like, if I put it in a cute messy bun and I want it to stay kind of high up and like kind of sticking up, if you know what I mean, it'll actually hold it. It really is amazing. So highly recommend this stuff. It's like $3 at the drugstore, so definitely check that out. If you're wondering what I'm wearing on my lips, which I've been wearing, if you've seen any of my Paris pictures I've uploaded on my social media, I'm wearing, it's a MAC lipstick, it's a retro matte in All Fired Up. I don't know if they still sell this, and it's the old matte formula, so it's really, really, really dry. But it's a really pretty, like, cool toned red. I love it, but I wish it wasn't so drying, because it's one of those lipsticks that's really hard to wear like all day. Like I was out and about with Tyler here in Paris, and I wanted to reapply it constantly because it was very dry and it was cracking, so that stinks. But the good news is, another favorite of mine, this is the only, I think, expensive. Everything else is really, really cheap. This is the MAC Matte Lipstick in Please Me, and a subscriber mentioned this to me as an idea for a wedding lipstick, and they redid their matte formula. I'm sure, I don't think it was that recent, and this is this beautiful, like kind of dusty pink, but it's got enough color to it that it shows up. It doesn't make your lips look washed out. I didn't wear it on my wedding day, but it is absolutely beautiful, and it's actually, it reminds me of like the Maybelline matte lipsticks. It's really moisturizing kind, and I just love the color. Speaking of lipsticks, one that I have fallen in love with, I've been looking for a really good peach lipstick. This is the Wet n Wild lipstick in 903C. It's not even on there. And it's a really kind of bright peach color. But what I love about it is, again, it's really mattifying. And I wonder if Wet n Wild redid their formula, because this used to be really, I had a different shade and it was really drying, kind of like the red MAC one I told you about. But it feels a little bit more moisturizing than it used to be, so I don't know. Anyway, it's just this really almost bright, but not quite, peach color, and I love wearing it with this Rimmel Stay Glossy, wow. It's a Rimmel lipstick, no, lip gloss, what? It's a Rimmel lip gloss in Stay Glossy, and it's in the shade Non-Stop Glamour, and it's like this really pretty light peach, kind of shimmery color, and I can't stop wearing this. This looks beautiful on its own. I think in my May favorites video, I mentioned another one of these in a different color. I'm just loving this formula so much, and these two are so pretty together. I was inspired by Tati from the channel Glam Life Guru. She loves 903C, and she wore it with, I guess, a different Rimmel glossy lip gloss, and then I remembered that I had this one, and I was like, wait a minute. So these are beautiful together. This lip gloss really kind of tones down that peach, and it just looks like that. It's like that light peach that you always want your lips to look like when you're going for it. This gives you it. So, and they're both under $5. They're so cheap. When in Paris, we went to a grocery store, and you can see it in our vlog. And they have, it's funny because French wine in the States can be so expensive. Even if it's, you know, I mean, I don't know what you would consider a cheap wine, but they all just seem to be so expensive. But here, since, you know, we're in France, that's like a local wine, so it's not nearly as expensive. So we're getting some really great wines that would be way expensive in America for like $5 and under here in France. I'm like, man, we should have just brought a suitcase and filled it. But loving it. And yes, I'm above 21, I'm 26, thank you. Okay, so another one. I got my nails done for the wedding. Of course I did. And they're looking a little raggedy now, so if you see them in close-ups, sorry. But I pick at my cuticles, and she, of course, noticed, and I asked her, I said, you know, what do you recommend? What's a good cuticle oil? And she recommended the solar oil from C&D. And I'd heard a little bit about this recently, and it smells really nice. This is about $8. I found it at the drugstore. And it has this really nice, almost almond or nutty smell. Maybe like cherry, like amaretto, I don't know. Anyway, it's not a thick oil, it's a really thin oil, but you just put it on your cuticles. I kind of rub it in, and it just feels good. It seems to be healing my cuticles. Like I've got one area that's just really dry and kind of cracked. So I'm hoping this will work on it. I've only been using it a couple days, but I really like it enough that I actually brought it with me to Paris. So that says, I think, enough about it, that just the few days I used it, I was so impressed. So definitely recommend if you've got problem cuticles or they're really dry. And really, I mean, sometimes mine are fine like in the summertime, but in the winter especially, lotions don't really cut it. Even if they're a really moisturizing hand cream, I still feel like it's not quite getting my cuticles the way they need to be gotten. You know what I mean? Okay, two more drugstore favorites, and then that is all. This is the L'Oreal Lacquer Liner. I used to buy this stuff, like only this stuff, you guys, and I was trying some other things. So I tried the Maybelline one, and that's really good too, and then I have the Essence one, and it's really good. It's in the shade Midnight in Paris. I love that, it's black. But then I went back to buying this one, and I wore this on my wedding day. You guys, this stuff is amazing. It is so black. It doesn't move, and it's not even necessarily, I don't think it's like waterproof per se, but it just doesn't move. Even when it's in the corner of your eyes there, it just stays put. This stayed put on me for the most part throughout our whole like 8-hour flight and the 2-hour flight before that, and the whole day of like breakfast the day after the wedding. I mean, just really for like 36 hours is really what ended up happening. And it stayed put through sleeping on the plane and being on a train. I mean, through everything, this stayed in place. It really is amazing. And again, it's under $10. I think this is usually like $7 or $8. It's amazing. And I have it in Blackest Black. My last favorite is one I keep talking about, but I can't stop. So when I was packing my makeup for this vacation, I literally laid like my highlighters out and I was like, okay, what highlighter do I want to bring? I don't want to bring a bunch of that. Like I brought more than one blush, I bought more than one lipstick, but I only brought one highlighter. And I had like my Hourglass palette out and I had my MAC Mineralized Skin Finishes out. I had all these really expensive highlighters out and I still ended up going with this one. It is my favorite, probably of all time. This is the hard candy one. You buy it at Walmart and it's in the shade Tiki. And it's just this golden beige highlighter and it's not gonna show up here. I'll show you a close-up. It's just so perfect for my skin tone. And even though I'm decently fair, I'm not as fair as I typically am, but I'm pretty fair in my opinion. It just is beautiful. It always looks like the right amount of sheen and it looks good in the daytime, even if you're in the sunlight. It looks good at night. It looks good in candlelight. It looks good always. I love it so much. And it's one of those that it's such a hidden gem for me in the drugstore. And I know people like it, but it's not loved enough. This should be like everyone's holy grail ever. I love it. And I thought every time I've seen baked products, I always feel like they're chalky or powdery or like rough to the touch and I don't like it. And in fact, there are baked products I've had that are like that and that's why I felt that way. But this one's almost like buttery. Like it just feels so high end, so like amazing. So definitely try this out. If you've never tried these, try it out. I will say it, I think it took getting through like the top layer to get that buttery feel, but it'd almost be worth just rubbing through and then you get to it because, you know, it's inexpensive enough that it's not breaking the bank that you waste that top layer. And it really is, once you get below that, that it is just amazing. I'm trying to think if I had any duds this month, like things that I was like, ooh. Oh, I didn't bring it with me, but the Benefit blush it's that newish one, Rockateur. I hate it. I guess I shouldn't say hate. I love the way it smells. It's a pretty color in the pan and I love the packaging. But every time I've worn it, I bought it on my way to San Diego a few months ago. Every time I've worn it, because of my skin tone, it makes me look just patchy and weird. I don't know what, I'm like, well, I can't be applying it that wrong. I mean, I've applied the other Benefit blushes, but the shimmer in it, I think just really does not mesh right with my skin tone. I think it would look beautiful on deeper skin tones, but I think if you've got a light or pale or fair skin tone, I don't know, I just don't like the way it looks on me. I'm gonna try it a few more times, but I have to say every time I've ever tried it, I've not loved it. I really wanna try the Benefit Hervana blush because it looks like it'd be a nice light semi-matte pink, pinkish purple almost. And so that's kind of on my wish list for eventually getting because it looks really, really pretty. Anyway, so definitely let me know what your favorites and flops have been this month and stay tuned. I'm hoping to film a video maybe on the makeup that I brought with me on my honeymoon. Eventually I'll do the makeup I wore on my wedding day video, but a lot of that is back home because I didn't bring all of that. So stay tuned for that in a few weeks. But in the meantime, definitely check out our vlogs. We are having so much fun and we're making tons of mistakes, but it's hilarious because what can you do? I mean, we're dum-dums in France. Of course we're making tons of mistakes, but it's so much fun. Check that out and hopefully you are enjoying. I've missed you guys. I know I've got some pre-recorded videos I might be putting up in the meantime. We'll see. I haven't really looked at the footage and seen if it's any good, but I do have some pre-recorded. So keep in touch. Definitely check me out on my social media as well because I'm posting a lot of photos and videos on there, and I hope you enjoyed the video and I'll catch you guys in my next one.